can't hear me yet. Now you can hear me because now I'm here. What is going on, everybody? Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're good. What is going on, everybody? Thursday night here. I am Boxman and Smark. Smark will be here in a few minutes, folks. He will. He will. He'll be here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, like I said, I'm Boxman. This is Wrestling Outlet. Appreciate everybody that's going to come on in and join. I know it's very early in the show, but yeah, we've got plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. We got Booker T to talk about. It's kind of a confusing story, but let's go. We'll get into it as we go. We've even got Hulk Hogan back in the news, folks. We've got Mick Foley to talk about in a little car accident. Even Bret Hart, and of course, AEW Dynamite and Dynasty, which me and Smark will probably mix together as we usually do. That's kind of how we do this when it's the pay-per-views. I actually like when the pay-per-views are on because we can kind of mix it in and it's always a little better. Now, before this show starts, I know it's not a wrestling thing, but I do Hollywood Hangout on Saturdays. You guys all know that. I'll be back this Saturday, obviously talking about one of the greats, that is Val Kilmer. He passed away a few days ago. Awful. Now, we all know he's been sick, throat cancer, and a few other issues he's had, but, you still never expect someone you kind of grew up watching as some of the coolest people on TV. I mean, Iceman, Real Genius was a great movie. I mean, he's been in so many good movies and just so many great parts. Tombstone. But I'll be talking Val Kilmer on Saturday night. I wanted to throw that out there at the beginning of the show. And, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I know his daughter was the one that actually put it out. So, but yeah, I'll be talking all about his career, get into his method acting a little bit, some of the parts that he really threw himself into. I'll be talking about those. And he also, I'm not going to lie, he was known for having some clashes with directors in his younger years. Not so much in the latter years, but in the younger years, he was known for clashing with directors. I'll even get into a few of those stories as we go through that show. But anyway, that's going to be Saturday night. Probably going to do that one on YouTube. So check out, go look for Hollywood Hangout on YouTube and you will find me there. So anyway, before Smart gets here, folks, I was going through WWE's trademarks, as I sometimes do, and I noticed a few things that I was a little baffled about. A few of the trademarks that they have picked back up, and as of recently, I mean, they're just a little weird. You got your regular ones in here that you would expect: Ludwig Kaiser, Raquel Rodriguez, Metaphor, but Happy Corbin, for some reason, they re-upped on Happy Corbin, on Cameron Grimes, on Arturo Ruas, on Dakota Kai, and Asher Hale. I'm not sure if this is for the game coming out that they had to do this real quick, or if they just do not want these people to have their goddamn names. I'm not quite sure which it is, but they have gone through and gotten, like I said, Happy Corbin, which I don't know what they would do that for, unless it is for the video game, but it's only for Class 41, which video games are in there. Sports entertainment, journals, blogs, newsletters, organization, pretty much anything in the field of sports entertainment. So there you go. I don't understand why they would do that, but like I said, I'm just trying to get into a couple of things before Smart gets here, because I don't want to get into too much of it before he gets in here. So I'm not going to lie, folks. I'm stalling a little bit. I'm stalling a little bit. I'm actually going to see if I have anything else to go through here that we can talk about before Smark does get here. I'm not sure if there is anything. Um, really, I guess I can go ahead and get into this Booker T thing. Why don't we go ahead and do that? I don't know why my eyes are so itchy lately, but they are. It's probably because the pollen around here is absolutely ridiculous. You leave your car outside one night, come back, it's yellow. And my car is black, so it's black and yellow. It looks like a fucking bumblebee driving down the road. It's a little weird because I got a little Kia. So that thing just looks like a little bumblebee driving down the road, buzzing down the road. Speaking of that, I got to buzz and go get an oil change tomorrow, so I'll do that too. But oh my God, one eye so itchy, right eye itchy. I apologize, folks, but I got to itch. I could take myself off camera. What's the difference? I'm still talking. So let's go ahead and we'll get into this whole Booker T thing. I need to get some eye drops or something. My eyes are dry and itchy, so I need to get some drops. But anyway, let's get into this Booker T thing. So Booker T's sort of been under fire a little bit. I'm going to go back and forth and check for Smart coming into the studio. Booker T's under a little fire right now after DJ Vlad, the creator of Vlad TV, dropped kind of an update on the 2nd of this month. So it wasn't April Fool's Day. And he was accusing Booker T of fabricating stories and associating with a convicted sex offender. Now, this controversy started kind of on where everything starts, on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And Vlad actually, after putting out the allegations on, I guess, his show, his podcast, that is where he put those out. After he put those allegations out on his podcast, he put out some receipts, and I'll be going through those as we're getting going here, and we'll put up some pictures and stuff of all that. But man, this is a crazy little thing. So let's start with what Vlad put up. Now let me see if I can make this big enough to be streamed all right on here. Let me go ahead and present, and I will share screen right there. Okay, let's do that. Let's see how that looks right there. Obviously, I shared the wrong screen, folks. No, I didn't. I don't know why it's not sharing. I love this. All right, for some reason it's not. There it goes. Well, that took a fucking minute. Let me try to make it a little bigger. All right, so it's going to take a second to get bigger. I don't know what's going on. We do have storms coming in tonight. I don't know if my internet's slow or what's happening here, but anyway, he says, you know what? I know how to do this. Let me do this real quick. Go here. All right. He says, when Booker T isn't making up lies about refusing to do Vlad TV interviews, he's hanging out with his registered sex offender friend, Chasen Rance. Chasen was convicted of lewd and lascivious behavior. I can't say that word. Lascivious sexual battery with a victim who was 12 to 15 years old at the time. I believe this was back in 2001. Now, he was only sentenced to probation, but he was ordered to always, he had to register himself. So if he moved, he had to let that go. If he moved jobs, he had to let them know. And he didn't do that. So he is, right now, this guy is back in jail. And he even puts up what the offense was right here. It tells all about Chasen Rance. I'm not sure why this piece of shit is smiling in his photo here, but there it is a little bigger for you guys. Yeah, it's still sharing. And you can see right there, it shows his name, the charge, and he is a registered sexual offender. And he was supposed to, like I said, check in when he moved jobs, check in when he moved addresses. He did not do that. He falsified some information, was also got him put back in. But let's keep going here a little bit. Like I said, this is a horrible story, and I'm not sure why all this had to be thrown in at once. But anyway, we see also a picture here of Booker T with Jason Rance and some of his students. Some of his students do look younger. We can't see their faces, but I'm looking at body parts. But anyway, there it is. And someone actually said, did Booker T training at Chase and Rance's school last month go by unnoticed? Pro wrestling will never change. And then the last one is some what looks to be Facebook messages between Booker T and Vlad, where Vlad says Booker T is lying. Now, remember, Booker T said on his podcast that, we'll go back to all that in a minute. Booker T is lying. Booker T was excited to do Vlad TV and was at the studio with our cameraman. I ran late that day, which is why the interview never happened. Here's the DM of the conversation in 2020, as he does put up the DMs from 2020. And you can see here, it starts out with basically Vlad asking Booker T if he can do the interview. He said, interested in interviewing you for Vlad TV. We recently did Mark Henry, and he put up a YouTube video to show him what his show is about. Booker T comes back with, hey, what's up, bro? I'm definitely interested. What all would you want to cover? I'm based in Houston, so we could do it over Zoom or something. Vlad comes back, interested in covering your career like I do in most of my interviews. We have a cameraman in Houston, so we can do it remotely that way. We can go to your location or book a studio. Gave him a couple options there. No problem. Then Booker T said, yeah, if he'd want to meet me at my studio where I do my show, we can do it that way. When would you want to do it? I'm normally free on Thursdays. Vlad comes back, send contact info, and my assistant will coordinate. God damn, he's got an assistant. Everybody, I don't have an assistant. I don't have an assistant. But anyway, let's keep going through this. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the screen, stop sharing. And we'll go ahead and read through a little more. Now, again, we had Booker T had said during an episode of his podcast that he was invited to do it, but he turned it down, that he didn't want to let himself be exploited on Vlad TV. Well, there's more to this story than that. So that went down. And that's when Vlad started putting out some of the posts and pictures that we just saw. Booker T then came back a few days later with a post that said, if I'm lying, I'm dying. And he put up something here, and we will go ahead and get back to the sharing one more time. Sorry, folks, I'm doing this all kind of on the fly and by myself here. I got no smart. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll share the screen too. And I'm sorry, but my wife is home, which means y'all are going to hear my dogs barking for a minute. But Booker T put up his own DMs of that. And this was a little later after the interview did get canceled. And Booker T comes back, or actually, yeah, Booker T came back with, let me know if you still want to do the interview. We've hit your guy a few times and haven't gotten a response. Let's do a call. I want to make this right. Let's do the interview perfect time with the song blowing up. And I mean, this went from September 9th, no response. September 22nd, no response. January 7th, 2021, no response. Finally, on January 27th, Vlad responded, thanks, but no thanks. Booker T came back with, okay, fam, I'm disappointed. Actually, I'm sorry. That was Vlad asking for the interview, Booker T not replying. And Booker T did say thanks, but no thanks. And then literally, Booker T says, okay, fam, I'm disappointed. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Vlad says, okay, fam, I'm disappointed, but I was late for the interview, so I understand. Congrats on the massive success of the new song. I'm still a fan. Take care. And then Vlad comes back and says, what if we pay you for an appearance? So this does sort of This definitely supports Booker T, but it all here's the weird thing. It supports two things. It supports the fact that Vlad was late. He was. They couldn't do the interview because of it. And this kind of does support what Booker T said. He did say thanks, but no thanks. He didn't say why. He just kind of didn't do the interview. Maybe someone did tell him between September and January, don't do interviews with that guy. I don't know. I really don't. I have no clue. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what happened. But it's just kind of a very strange ordeal that it would even be put out, and why Vlad would even feel the need to try to validate what was happening. I mean, whatever. Booker T says what he says on his podcast. Who gives a shit? I mean, okay, fine. You did say that you were late. That's why the interview didn't happen. But Booker T also did say that he turned down the interview. He proved that. So both of you are right. Booker T never gave you a reason. Maybe his reason really, truly was he thought you were going to exploit him. Maybe someone told him that's what you were going to do. I don't know. But they both had receipts, so both of them, I guess, are proved right in this thing. I guess that's how it would go. But I don't know. It's just a very strange situation. So but I definitely, everyone's talking about it, so I definitely wanted to bring up the whole situation with Booker T and all that. So, and there you go. That was the Booker T situation. So let's keep going here, just trying to see if Smark is. Nope, not back here yet. Why is? Oh, I made a lot of things in Facebook, gigantic. But anyway, got kind of an update on a little something that me and Smark talked about a few weeks ago. I'm hoping he ends up in here in a few minutes. I wish I could hit pause right now, folks, and go quiet my dogs down, but I can't, so I won't. There you go. So anyway, little update on something that me and Smark had talked about a few weeks ago, which was the Ryan Nemeth and AEW Tony Khan situation. Now, with the lawsuit, that's craziness. This whole lawsuit is craziness. But now, Ryan Nemeth is saying that AEW and Tony Khan are trying to intimidate and humiliate him with their latest legal move or maneuver, if you will. So, after being served paperwork while working an off-Broadway show, Ryan Nemeth fired back. He was not happy about it. He put out a post earlier this week that said, raise your hand if a literal billionaire sent someone to sue you 4 minutes before you walked on stage for your off-Broadway debut play this weekend. So I guess he's doing an off-Broadway debut play that he's debuting in. Now, his locked account on the social media site that has been changed, but Nemeth provided a more in-depth account of what he was referring to in a Substack post last night, which actually ended up being March 27th. This article's pretty new. Actually, this article is actually from March 28th. It's not that new. I actually got this last week. So anyway, let's go ahead and keep going here. But this actually all came down March 27th. As most assumed, it was the latest move in his legal battle with former employer AEW ROH and its owner, Tony Khan. CM Punk also named in this suit that Nemeth filed in February, that he was mistreated and blackballed during and after the end of his run with AEW ROH, but there have been no report on Punk's response. That's because CM Punk would probably be a smart man and use the WWE lawyer, which means Ryan Nemeth probably has no fucking chance. Let's keep going. The off-Broadway debut Nemeth mentions was his role as the celebrity headliner in the 2-night run of Street Fighting Knockout, a Street Fighter tribute, kind of whodunit, where the greatest fighters in the world gather at a tournament only to have to truly defend themselves when a killer is exposed amongst, that was this fucking Mortal Kombat. So anyway, Nemeth's post, he even entitled this Substack post with raise your hand if a billionaire sued you this weekend. It kind of contrasts his attempts to settle his issues, that because he was saying he was trying to settle this prior to suing, but obviously I don't think he did. Now, this is a little long, but since Smark isn't here, I'll just go ahead and fucking read it to you guys. So here we go. Quoting or reading from the Substack. I did all the things you're supposed to do. I communicated. I spoke to HR. I spoke to legal. I spoke to my bosses. I kept records. I have witnesses. I was even offered a settlement. Then instead of those terms being honored in a very bizarre pseudo U-turn of events, I was offered a new contract with AEW in lieu of pursuing legal action. For those of you wondering, I said, no thanks. Oddly enough, I was also told the lawyer who offered me the original settlement had no authority to do so. That sounds like serious organizational dysfunction. But who am I to say? Once again, checking for Smark, sorry. After all my options to amicably resolve my issues with the company were exhausted, I was forced to defend myself with an attorney. We did what normal people do. We gave my former employee a very fair, discreet, and reasonable heads up by contacting his legal team to paraphrase, hey guys, we're going to be filing a legal complaint. Here's the complaint. You can even look at it ahead of time. Nobody was ambushed. Nobody was caught off guard. In fact, one might argue that me choosing the unfortunate lawsuit option was telegraphed very clearly by 2 years of me trying all the other non-lawsuit options. Finally, after that very fair, very professional heads up, we filed. Obviously, they filed with AEW, Tony Khan, and everybody else. For those of you with the knee-jerk reaction of that's how it works, idiot, he doesn't get to choose when they serve you, I'll say this. My former employer, a billionaire, definitely had a choice. He could have very easily sent the notice to my attorney. He has his contact info. I mean, my attorney's contact information is printed quite clearly on the paperwork that I was served. So there goes that excuse. Oh, hold on. Here he is. Oh, shit. There he is. Sorry. I didn't know you hit it. Sorry.
It's all good.
What's going on, Smart?
Nothing. Why are we getting to attorneys involved? What's going on here?
Well, because you're an asshole and you were late. I'm going to sue your ass.
Oh my.
No. I'm talking about I'm kind of giving an update on the Ryan Nemeth suit that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
To catch you up, he was about to go on stage for his off-Broadway debut. Ryan Nemeth was.
Which, even if he was totally in the right, just hearing the phrase off-Broadway debut makes me think he's a tremendous asshole. Like he's already in the wrong in my book. I've already turned on him.
There you go. Well, he was served with a lawsuit right before he went on stage. So this is him venting his whole thing. Now, we've already gone through him telling the whole process of how professional he is, Ryan Nemeth. And now we're going through how Tony could have absolutely just sent this to his lawyer. I don't think that's how serving somebody works. I think you actually have to hand it to the person. I believe you have to actually physically hand them their suit. in their hand. I'm not quite sure. If you want to look that up while I'm reading a little bit more.
That's what I'm trying to do.
All right. I'm going to, again, now this is for a lawsuit. So anyway, the attorney's on the paperwork. Well, this wasn't intentional, but it kind of was. Well, no, that was his first thought. So my first thought was, well, this wasn't intentional, but it kind of was. This billionaire in question definitely has my attorney's information, as does his legal team and any independent counsel he's gotten involved in this. These are aggressive tactics that I believe are designed to intimidate me and to stop me from speaking up about how I was treated. This is actually the opposite. It's actually the legal system, and this is actually giving you the opportunity to come to court and tell your story and your side. You see what I'm getting at there, Smark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, that's the end of that paragraph. Did you find anything?
It's a bit murky, but the short answer is apparently yes, a process. This is according to uslegalsupport.com.
Okay.
Which is, I have bookmarked for reasons I don't want to get into. Yes, a process server can serve legal documents to someone's attorney, as attorneys are authorized to accept service on behalf of their clients. This method is often used to ensure that the client is properly notified of legal proceedings. Another site says if the person being served is a named party in the case and the attorney has entered their appearance on their behalf, then yes, you can serve their lawyer. If not, then you can only serve the attorney if they tell you they are authorized, handle their business, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. So it's a little bit more, it seems like it's somewhat of a case by case basis and like how much the attorney has established themselves on the other person's behalf and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe they didn't know whether or not the attorney was authorized. Definitely something he might have wanted to Google before he jumped into it. But I got a few paragraphs left here, not many. I thought of the respectful, professional heads up. The word professional shows up in here way too many times, Mark. It is ridiculous. This guy thinks he is the most professional person on earth when his lawyer is doing all the fucking work. I thought of the respectful, professional heads up we gave him. I thought of the 2 years of respectful, professional consideration and patience I gave him, trying to resolve this all without resorting to anybody suing anybody. He could have also done this in a professional, respectful manner. Instead, he and his lawyers chose to send someone to Astoria, Queens, New York City on a Saturday night to find me in the lobby of a small 150-seat theater in front of family, friends, and theater goers mere minutes before I stepped on stage in a pathetic attempt to humiliate and intimidate me. So I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, it's kind of hard to. I tried giving him the benefit of the doubt for the last 2 years. Actually, at some point, the one man who single-handedly runs the entire company can't just claim plausible deniability at every turn on every issue that seems remotely negative. I mean, do you run your company or not? I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire. I never will. I don't know what it's like to be a high-powered lawyer. But I do know that there are more humane and professional ways to approach this. Okay. So here, last paragraph. Okay, go ahead. One more paragraph, but go ahead, please.
Okay, if I may, just 1 second.
What a mark.
Where's the what a little bitch one? Is there one that says what a little bitch?
I mean, I had to improvise. Well, I mean...
Well...
Was she a great big fat person?
Oh, wait, that was the wrong one. I thought that was something entirely different. Oh, well. I thought I had it. Does he look like a bitch on here? But no, apparently I don't.
Yeah, that one didn't really fit.
Actually, no, this one seems appropriate.
Get him out of here! He's got AIDS!
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. The crowd at the one-person show saying.
Here we go. We can just answer this question.
Does he look like a bitch?
Yes, at this point he does. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. I had that, yeah. That's the one I was trying to play.
Yes, Mr. Jackson, he does. He does look like a bitch at this moment in time. All right, let's keep going here because, like I said, I got one more paragraph. The night of our second and final performance, I was approached by a man in the theater lobby just outside the restrooms. He said he was there to serve me legal papers. Hey, sorry, you're getting sued, and apologized for doing it at this inopportune time. He was giving me a legal notice that my former employer was suing me to move our legal dispute to arbitration, i.e., to keep everything private. Now, there's more to this Substack post. Now, I want to tell you this, Smark. If I was this guy's lawyer right now, I would tell him to go find another fucking lawyer or shut his fucking mouth.
You're going to say I would tell him to go fuck himself. Like, well, I don't know if that's professional. Since that's the word of the day.
You know, if you don't go and vent on Substack, you don't go and vent anywhere that the internet's going to find it, because you know what's going to happen? That's going to be used against you. It's going to be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I don't fucking get it, Smark. But anyway, that's the whole thing. In my opinion, this guy just sounds like a little fucking wimpy bitch.
I'll go with that.
A wimpy little bitch. I don't understand why he had to do this. Like I said, if I was his lawyer, I'm not even sure I would give him the fucking option. I think I would just tell him to find another fucking lawyer. I really would. I mean, listen, if you haven't entered into court yet, I think you can still say go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think I don't think you can leave a case mid-trial. You can during the.
Oh, you can.
I don't. Well, you can, but you'll be disbarred.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what happened to Diddy.
Oh.
Yeah,
really?
Like he had like a lawyer that honestly, I remember people like making a big deal of it because I think he had like a lawyer that represented like Taliban people, and they pulled out. And it's like, Jesus Christ! Like imagine how fucked you are if they were like out here representing fucking Osama bin Laden. They're like, nope, can't, nope.
You can fire your lawyer mid-trial.
Oh no, that's not what happened.
Okay, because I'm wondering if yeah. So wait,
Yeah, if you type in Diddy lawyer, the first thing that comes up is Diddy the lawyer quits.
Okay.
Filed a motion to withdraw from his defense team, stating he could no longer efficiently serve as counsel. The reason for the departure was not disclosed. Blah blah blah. Attorney-client privilege.
Okay. That's a legal motion. All that bullshit you have to go through. So I mean, there's a way to do it, but you can't just be like, "Oh fuck you, I quit."
Yeah, you can't no call, no show.
No, you can't just. Yeah, you got to go through fucking channels, my man. But yeah, this is just horrible. This whole thing, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Smark, I don't know if you got anything on that. I just wanted to read that, give everybody a little update on something we had already talked about.
Yeah, he does seem like a bitch.
Well, Smark, what I was going to start the show with before you were going to be late, and I like your name, the Terrifier, too. Very good. I like that. Now, I don't know if you know this, Smark, but Thunder Rosa has a YouTube show. Did you know this?
Mm-hmm. That's a cooking show, if you will.
It is a cooking show. That's right, folks. And guess what? It is.
First segments in my Patreon. That is cooking in my underwear with yours truly, Thunder Rosa.
If you've never wanted to learn to cook, folks, you may want to learn. You might want to start learning. Join. I think she said it was. Did she just say it was on Patreon?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, not bad.
Well,
what?
I was gonna say I don't think it's that expensive either. But like I believe that her first guest is supposed to be Paula Dean, so it might be worth checking out an episode.
We're gonna get some Southern fried chicken.
Yeah, I'm about to make it clap. Y'all stand still and check this shit out.
You know who loves this Southern fried chicken?
Technical difficulties.
We come back and Rose is speaking Spanish and yelling at her.
The Hulkster said I could say it. I don't understand what the problem is.
He told me you were cool. What happened, you? God.
You sound like a bit of a narc.
Oh, God. So, anyway.
Now, this sweet tea, can I ask for ice or is that insensitive?
Today, we're going to make empanadas. Isn't that right, Miss Rosa?
There you have it. Yes.
Shit. So anyway, since we're here to have fun, folks, and we're going to right now, I said Hulk Hogan was back in the news, but in a little more of a savage way than usual. I don't know if you saw this, Mark, but Hulk Hogan and his current wife sat there eating popcorn while watching his ex-wife's video.
I really hope there's a video of this we're about to watch.
Of course there is. Here you go.
I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8 years now. And God bless Nick. He's still such a good boy. I've never put a Facebook post out like this with my ugly face and my crying face, but I have to be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan and what it entailed and what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He is a sex addict. Your face out there and know that all these horrible things are going on behind the scenes. Yet he marches on. He marches on like, yeah, oh, I'm promoting my own beer, real American beer. Yeah, look at me. Woo! Yeah, he's such a hero, right? Not. Okay, I'm going to give him my thumbs down. I've given him more opportunities to come back and make us a family and try to, I'm sorry, it's so sad.
She does this too much. Oh, ow. Oh, what was I thinking? That's what happens right there. There you go. I can't believe he actually put that out. What'd you think of that, Smark?
You know, as much as he is rightfully criticized, you know, the phrase "a blind squirrel" comes to mind because, you know, every so often he will do something cool. And this is one of those instances. Good for him.
Well, and even Brooke responded on actually Entertainment Television put out a little thing of where Brooke kind of responded on Twitter saying, I'm paraphrasing, basically, don't believe anything of a woman who's suffering from her own consequences is what it was. Don't feel bad for her because she did this shit to herself. That's the paraphrase.
Mm-hmm.
So even Brooke is just like, I don't give a fuck. She's basically she said, I distanced myself from my family because they were a toxic portion of my life. And I realized, yeah. And she said she's a lot happier without him. She seems a lot happier without him.
I was listening to Meltzer talking about this a little bit, and I was getting vibes that she's basically like the Shane McMahon of the family, where she's like really just not down with any of the bullshit. She just sort of keeps her nose clean and stays out of all the nonsense.
Oh, I mean, I think she was all with it when she was trying to launch the singing career, when she was doing this, when she was trying to get her name out there. And I think it's almost like she just lost the taste for the spotlight after a while. Pouring some more water for myself. It's like she just lost the taste for the spotlight. She just didn't want to be in it anymore. She met this, I think she's married to like a hockey player or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But she met this guy, and, you know, obviously he seems like he was good for her. He said, you know, just fuck it. Let's just lead our own life, live our We have our own family to worry about. She has twins to worry about, dude. She don't need this bullshit. She doesn't need this bullshit in her life. Her dad going out there and saying stupid shit, fucking getting booed. She doesn't need to deal with it. She has kids to worry about. The more I have no problem if that's her decision to distance herself and take care of her family. Good girl. At a girl.
That's it.
Yeah. But meanwhile, that clip was fucking hilarious. I couldn't believe they put that out.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, obviously it was chopped up a little bit. That version of it. But hilarious. No, nonetheless. Yeah, you're right though. Every now and then Hulk does something kind of cool, kind of funny. Doesn't erase anything, but every now and then he does something that's you can just laugh at and move on.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's sort of ostensibly like kind of two bad people going against each other. So it's like when he's making fun of another bad person, it's okay to have a quick laugh and go about your day.
Yeah, it's really not like. Yeah, it's not like. It's not like. This isn't like Hall and Oates fighting.
No, that's tragic.
That's just exactly a total tragedy. That's just awful. I can't believe it. Fucking childhood is going away. Mm-hmm. I did mention Val Kilmer in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah, I'll be talking. I'm going to do a whole show on him Saturday night, definitely. Like it's ready to go. Like right now, I could do it now if you want.
I got you.
If you want to do it, want to do it now? Nope.
Nope.
Okay. I'm kidding. We'll keep talking a little bit of wrestling. We've got a few things to keep going with here. Let's talk a little bit about RVD, Smark. What do you think?
Yes.
Maybe not.
Let's do it.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Then let's talk a little bit about RVD. Yeah. All right, hold on here. I didn't have a little thing for it here. There we go. All right. So RVD was on his One of a Kind with RVD podcast and kind of started talking about the John Moxley spot with Spike and the nails and being stuck into his back. We all know what happened there. We talked about it last week. And I think a lot of people were surprised by RVD's comments that he really didn't like it. He kind of thought it was stupid. He really didn't like it. Was very kind of against it. And a lot of people weren't happy with RVD saying that he didn't like it because he was associated with ECW. Someone put out, I respect your wrestling career, but saying you don't like the John Moxley spike spot is laughable for someone who was working for ECW that was wrestling then. The violence things, I don't know what this guy really jammed this sentence together, was that the wrestling back, the violence things that you and others did, barbed wire, flaming tables, Taipei Deathmatch, still got DVD. So RVD clapped back. He was not happy with a lot of the responses he was getting. I'm actually pulling up the whole thing right now. So RVD didn't even hold back, and I'm kind of glad he didn't. He said, some fans on here are another level of ignorant. 1, concussions are part of my past, not my present or my future, no matter how much you don't know. 2, I've always said the Abyss spot when he murdered me with Janice was stupid. If you remember that was a backstage spot they did. I've always said back in ECW, the garbage matches took the place of wrestling because they didn't have wrestling in them. 3, Do you think a writer gave Moxley that spot and thought it was stupid? I don't. I think you idiots are stupid, especially the fans calling me a hypocrite when I'm as consistent as it comes. I didn't have barbed wire matches. I never bladed in ECW. Y'all are ridiculous for not being able to tell the difference. So, RVD's right. He never did blade. There was a couple times he got busted open with chairs, but never bladed. So, all right. First of all, we talked about the spot already, Smart. So we know that. But, I mean, I think RVD is definitely entitled to his opinion here, whether he liked it or not. And this is a guy who, okay, let's say he did work for or even blade or do barbed wire matches in ECW. ECW has been gone for what, 24 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
This is a guy who's 24 years older, who looks at things different, who might look back on some of the things he did back then and go, God damn, I was a fucking idiot back then. I would never do that now in my career. So even if he did all the things he never did in ECW, it still wouldn't make one bit of difference to me, the fact that he didn't like the spot. This is an older gentleman at this point, guys. This guy comes in for a fucking spot every now and then, gets a huge pop for it, and then goes home to his one or two chicks. He doesn't give a shit. RVD's living the life. He's entitled to his opinion. He has been in the business long enough. He knows what he likes. He knows what he doesn't like. And I think the fact that someone would, just because he was associated with a violent company like ECW, immediately clap back at him and say he's a hypocrite and laughable is kind of bullshit. Sorry, I didn't think I had that much to say on this. Go ahead.
Hold on a second. I was just trying to look at. I was trying to look at what he had said exactly about. I was trying to get everything that he said on it. Long story short, I feel like he's kind of just. It's really more of a product of the fucking discourse that we have going on about wrestling right now, of just the never-ending AEW versus WWE, the fucking tribalism nonsense, and that you have all these people that are under, which Rob Van Dam is. He's under a Legends contract, but you have all these people that are under Legends contracts that are just shitting on AEW regardless of like whether it's one spot or it's just the entire shows, entire pay-per-views, so on and so forth. You have like people that are doing what Bully Ray's doing, what fucking Bischoff's doing, those kinds of people. And then also like at the same time, the person, because I don't know the guy's name, but I know he has like a co-host, which I'm assuming also like Axis is producer or whatever, because it's a lot of like they're not doing what we're doing. There's a lot of fucking like upscale outfits and shit that are those wrestler podcasts. They have a lot of fucking resources and whatnot, but basically he's purposely asking him and leading him into those discussions because that's what you isolate the clip, that's what gets the views, that's what gets the clicks. You have fucking Rob Van Dam talking about AEW, you have fucking Stevie Richards talking about AEW, any of the old wrestlers, specifically AEW, because right now they're doing more risky things. It's like it's kind of hard to like shit on like what John Cena and Cody Rhodes are doing at the moment. Like you could say it's not good or whatever, but there's nothing like sensational. There's no real like talking points that are really going to get people going back and forth in the same way that like that Moxley spot would. So it's like people were going after RVD and like, yeah, he's entitled to an opinion, but it's just it's more just part of the fucking endless AEW WWE war, more so than just anything that Rob said. You just get those people that are going to be in one camp and they're going to see just anybody that has anything critical to say about AEW as just being a fucking WWE show regardless, and vice versa.
Oh no, yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean, yeah, and that's what you're going to have. And obviously this and that speaks to the tribalism we've been talking about. This guy obviously is, just doesn't like, or obviously loves AEW and doesn't like anyone talking bad about it. But I got no, I mean, and you're right though, as we've been saying, people have figured out anything you mention about AEW will get you clicks. Anything if they isolate it. Go ahead.
Which, I mean, I feel like that factors in, like I was saying, to both sides, because like the fucking Moxley, or not Moxley, Rob Van Dam's being led into that direction because that's in hopes of creating content like this and spurring on people, furthering the discussion, getting people fucking engaged, the engagement farming of it all, which is not his end so much as just, the people that are fucking running his show. But then you also have the AEW fans that are defensive because they see this shit with Cornette, with Bischoff, with Bully, so on and so forth. Just anybody they're already on the defensive, which is lame, to be honest. You don't need to fucking go to bat for Tony Khan. Tony Khan's sleeping on his pile of money, regardless of whether or not fucking Eric Bischoff likes his TV show. So it's like, dial it back a little bit, but
Yeah, exactly. And I see we're even talking about tariffs in the comment section here, but it's not tariffs that he wants. You know what it is, Mark.
It's an avalanche. Snow filled the air, buries everything. Time to be scared. You better be aware. It's a nightmare. You better run away if you just can't stay. If you wanna save the day. An angel, more like a devil, not small like a pebble, more like a mountain that swung to hold it very cold. It's an avalanche. It's an avalanche. It's an avalanche. It's an avalanche.
God, someone teach that kid how to fucking speak English.
That kid rolls. I'm gonna do it. Like, I won't do the whole thing, but I will say, like, we discovered something on Tuesday on the Totally Inappropriate Team Sports. Did you ever notice like how fucking crazy his arms flail when he's rapping, like in the music video? Like, she said that he looks like a Muppet, and it's really hard to unsee that.
No, I kind of try to just
I'm gonna hit you with like 20 seconds of it and just watch his arms.
It's an avalanche. Snow filled the air, buries everything. Time to be scared. You better be aware.
See? His arms are fucking going crazy style.
Why'd you do that to me? Why?
That time it really was just a matter of just, hey, look at his arms, because I've fucking seen that thing about 100 times too, and I've never looked at his arms. His arms are going super fucking crazy in that video.
Yeah, never cared to notice, but look at that. There they are. Those arms are flailing everywhere. But oh Jesus!
The kid clearly has a physical disability, which makes it funnier, but.
A little, yeah, it does a little bit. Oh boy. All right, so are we
strongly fighting the urge to say that he has Gregory Iron arms, but that's neither here nor there.
That's just awful. So are we back to RVD, or are we moving on from RVD?
I mean, I've kind of said my piece on the matter. Of just like, it's just, that's where we are. There's there's so many people that are fostering like fake bullshit anti-AEW sentiment for the sake of getting engagement and views and clicks and whatnot, that anytime there's something that's actually questionable, that you could have an opinion, I don't know what the fuck that is, an opinion and a discourse on, people just automatically think that you're being insincere or just already, at the ready to fucking jump on you and attack you. And like, fucking AEW does plenty of dumb shit. So it's like, just bide your time, wait your turn. There'll be plenty of things to criticize. You don't have to criticize every single thing.
Yeah, shit. There was blood Monday night.
Yeah, there's always blood
in WWE.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you said Monday night.
There was blood.
That looked fucking crazy.
Monday night there was blood. What's his name?
Gunther.
Jay bladed himself, and there's actually there was video of him actually blading. So, hey, it's okay there, and it's okay. Look, everything's okay to do in WWE. Just don't do any of it in AEW.
Hmm. And plus, I will
Kind
say
of
another thing that I was thinking about, and I never got around to like mentioning. It does kind of. I could see RVD being upset by like the criticism of being like, "You're in ECW. You're supposed to love blood, guts, and violence." Like that. That wasn't all that was. Like I'm watching
yeah.
fucking 1995 ECW right now, and unfortunately, it is There's an ungodly amount of time given to Shane Douglas, which is unfortunate. But no, I swear to God, the most insane shit was like it was early in '95. I want to say like somewhere around February, like maybe February 21st, 28th, something like that. One of the episodes of ECW TV starts with a 26-minute long Shane Douglas promo, which includes a Shane Douglas video package and like this like very lengthy like fucking Snyder cut-esque Shane Douglas promo that wraps up with him promoting a match which is a world title defense against Marty Jannetty, which is the funniest shit in the world to me. It's like that I know it wasn't at the time, but that just seems like the perfect punchline of like you dedicated 27 minutes of TV time to a fucking match against Shane Douglas and Marty Jannetty. Like Paul Heyman should have been arrested.
Marty Jannetty was actually still pretty. 95.
Good wrestler. Yes.
He was still pretty popular in 95. I'll give him that.
But like, and I understand context is everything, but it is hard to like not think about the fact that like just knowing how both of their careers turned out. But it's like at one point you thought it was a good idea to dedicate 27 minutes to Shane Douglas, who's promoting his match against Marty Jannetty. Like, yes, he had a lot of good ideas about who was going to be a star and who wasn't going to be a star. Like the fucking Cactus Jack is all over the show. He brought in Stone Cold, he brought in Pillman, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. Like he had a good eye for talent, but Shane, 26-minute long Shane Douglas promo. My God,
man. And speaking of Cactus Jack Smark, our next story is about Mick Foley.
Yes.
Mick Foley had a car accident. Not long ago, just a couple of days ago. Actually, he gave us an update today. He had, this is not a little crash he was in. Give me a second here.
Trying says the kid has rhino arms. Sorry, the kid has bigger arms than Rhino. Poor Rhino.
Yeah, poor Rhino. All right, there that is. Now I probably can't see it, so let's just do this. That's the car he was in.
Indeed.
That is the car he was in, folks. That is more than just a little bit of a car accident right there. Yeah. So Mick Foley says, it's been a little over 24 hours since I climbed out of this car, and I'm feeling very fortunate and very grateful. I do feel like I've been run over by a truck, but the idea that someone would be in an accident like this and walk away with only soft tissue injury makes me feel like someone was looking out for me. Thank you to all of you who sent well wishes. I'm back on the road tomorrow and will not miss a single date. So he's going to be, he's traveling all through Texas, but man, that is a hell of a car accident right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did he flip over? What went through the windshield?
The passenger.
Tire is gone. I don't know, man. Tire is gone right there. You see that? This is a bad car accident right here. So for anyone to even walk away from an accident like that is pretty fucking amazing, because that's not, that's a bad accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, way to go, Mick Foley, for getting through that. I guess when you get thrown off of a cage, car accidents just like it tickles.
That's it.
It just tickles. It just tickled.
I would like to hope at least though that he has rethought his position on letting Nick Hogan drive for him.
Oh, that's not nice. Funny though, but not nice.
I just figure we incorporate all members of the Hogan family. We talked about Bret, we talked about Hart, we talked about Linda, we talked about Linda to his current wife or whatever.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to see if it says what happened in the accident.
Apparently he also got a concussion. Or he said that he had a concussion.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was in the hospital, and he said his yeah, I'm looking at the one from April 1st on April Fool's Day, of course. Everyone probably thought it was a joke. Yeah, soreness in his knees, back, and a concussion. It's exactly what I'm seeing right here. And yeah, but he's literally right after I mean, this is the day of the accident right here. Hold on. Oop, there it is. Nope, that's the one. This is the day of, and look at him just standing there.
True, no, it says now I know that the WWE lawyers and doctors will blame Foley's future CTE on the car wreck. And just gave him an out.
Probably exactly what it was, but yeah, that's a bad accident. I can't. I'm glad he's okay after that, because some people wouldn't be after that shit. That's fucking nuts.
I feel like the doctors have a pretty hard task ahead of them, or like dealing with Foley. Of like, how can you tell whether or not somebody has a concussion when they just naturally believe that they're Santa Claus? Or it's like,
that's a good point. That's a great point.
He's a very peculiar man, so it's hard to tell when he's acting abnormally.
That's a good point too. You know what I think we need here?
What's that?
Segments in my Patreon that is cooking in my underwear with yours truly, Thunder Rosa.
That's what we needed there.
Mm-hmm.
A little Thunder Rosa spin.
I can't tell if it's a funnier idea to just have it be high effort or low effort. To just be like, today we're making Pop-Tarts. It's like, yeah, that's really all we're asking of you. You don't have to make a souffle. We're going to be good. I also wonder, like, I do kind of wonder if you're somebody of like a different ethnicity. Like, anytime you say that you're going to like cook or bring something to a party, like, it's going to be kind of annoying to just like people automatically expect that you're going to bring like your like culture's food. Whereas like Thunder Rosa can't ever just bring like a fucking like tuna casserole. Like it always has fucking Doritos or fucking some kind of a Mexican dish. Or it's just like, come on, why can't it be burgers, man?
You just say Doritos?
No, I didn't say Doritos. I always said fucking tuna casserole. She can't bring like a tuna casserole. She's always expected to bring like burritos or fucking.
Oh, burritos. Okay.
Yeah, carnitas.
I thought you said Doritos. I'm like, wait a minute. Just because Taco Bell has a Doritos taco does not make them Mexican, okay?
That would actually roll pretty hard too. Like, yeah, I brought I brought some fucking Doritos. Fucking white people don't know shit. You fucking Cinco de Mayo.
Well, my daughter calls them the spicy chips. She likes that. She likes them, but she doesn't. I don't think she gets that they're corn chips yet. I don't think we've told her, because she said she doesn't like Fritos.
Don't cook bacon in your underwear, folks. That's good advice.
Well, hey. Meanwhile, I might have to join a new Patreon. He's right. Don't ever cook on bacon in your underwear. It's just splatters everywhere. Now, we'll give you a hint. Bacon in the microwave in the underwear. That's okay.
Just making up some fucking microwave food. Just throwing in some hot pockets.
You put microwave in 1 minute per piece in the microwave. That shit comes out just fine. Just fine. Done it many a times late at night, making a little bacon, egg, and cheese Sammy.
There you go.
Usually after about 8 to 9 beers. But I haven't done that in over a week.
Yeah, honestly, I may come across as a square here, but I'm like kind of not down for shit like that. Like if somebody's actually cooking me like actual food, I want them to be clothed. Like I don't want their fucking like just genitals, just like fucking residue and like stray pubes, like fucking landing on my. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to enjoy my dinner.
Well, I mean, she's in her underwear. She's got something covering. Listen,
Hmm.
I have eaten lunch in some of the worst strip bars that you have ever talked to me about. I have eaten lunch at some places you wouldn't even think of going.
And I would happen to know that based on various discussions that happen both pre and post show, that you have various and had in the past various medical issues.
I have.
I'm not saying that is a direct link, but one
No,
of us
most-
hasn't eaten a pussy burger, and one of us doesn't have any current ailments or maladies.
Most of my ailments are stress related. Every time I go to the doctor, have you had any stress? Are you kidding me? I have 3 kids, you dumbass. Yes, I have stress in my life.
47 goats.
No, we're down to 2 goats. They're going to be gone in a couple of weeks. We actually, the last puppy found the forever home today. So we're down to the 2 we're keeping. We have to keep 2.
Nice.
My daughter has been so good about letting the other ones go to other people. She had her favorite. My wife had her favorite. We're keeping the wife's, and I can't let my daughters go. I just can't put her through it.
Mm.
I can't do it. Like, even I mentioned it, and I saw the welling of tears, and I'm like, you know what? We'll fine. We'll keep 2 dogs. You just need to find someone to take the pigs. But we had a rescue, a dog rescue up here that really, they couldn't take the dogs in, but they kept referring people to us, and the dogs all had new homes within the last 4 days.
Nice.
So, yeah, we gave one girl was a little 6-year-old girl today. We gave it to. This child was shaking with excitement when I handed her the puppy. I mean, literally, her hands, her face, her whole body was shaking with excitement. So it's cool that we get to do stuff like that, but we are getting the only boy that's not neutered in the house. He's getting neutered Wednesday. So not having puppies again.
I hear.
Cutting them off, chopping off the balls.
Oh my.
Cutting them right off. Then he gets to wear that fucking lampshade for a few days.
That's always the worst because the dogs ultimately find a way to weaponize those things.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna have little puppies. I'm gonna be trying to scoop them up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but yeah, it's got to be done. That's the only way we're gonna do this. But Circe would take the pigs? Who's Circe?
Ancient is an enchantress and minor goddess in ancient Greek mythology and religion.
Okay. I'm hoping you looked that up.
Let's say that I didn't because it makes me seem smarter than I am. But yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't get the reference at all. I'm just assuming I was assuming it was like some kind of British shit.
What does this god have to do with pigs?
To see if I actually knew what I was talking about, I'd be able to give you an answer instead of reading the first sentence of a Wikipedia article.
Okay. Anyway, if you're in Texas and you want 4 pigs, please call me. Let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, folks. But yeah, I just need to get rid of the goats. Will be out of here in a couple of weeks. They're building an enclosure for them where they're going, but those pigs, man, they're not fat enough to send to freezer camp. That's what they call it on the page, so you don't get in trouble. You can't say we're slaughtering these fuckers.
I'm trying really hard not to make an off-color joke because you just recommended sending somebody to a camp where they'll die.
Freezer camp.
Look, I am sorry, but it's right there, and I'm just like having to put my hands behind my back so I don't grab at the low-hanging fruit.
Listen, there's enough anti-Semitism going around right now. Leave it alone, please.
You've got it, friend.
It's the reason I'm not leaving my house without being armed, folks. I'm a Jewish guy in a small southern town. Oh, she was in the Odyssey and turned men into pigs. Oh, okay. Well,
So she was a fucking feminist. She was the world's first pink-haired bitch.
that's another thing. I'm surprised I don't have baby pigs running around.
Goats
No,
are
my
being
goats aren't
deported.
getting deported. My goats are actually going to my wife gets other animals from this lady every now and then. So she's gonna take the goats because she doesn't have any and she's been wanting two. So we have two.
Circe was a goddess of Greek mythology. Her father was the sun god Helios, and her mother was, depending on this earth, either a naiad or the goddess of magic. She's rarely described as a goddess, though most people think Circe as a sorceress, a witch, or even a temptress. She's most famous for her role in the epic story of Odysseus. She initially seemed like a threat to the lives of her crew, but she became one of the men's greatest benefactors. Without Circe's assistance, it is doubtful whether Odysseus would have survived his treacherous journey at all, but there are a lot more to the story. I pretty much got to the point, but I was trying to see if there's anything else that was interesting about this lady.
Okay. All right. That makes a little bit of sense. So there we go. Awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much the last thing I need to get rid of is the pigs, and then my dogs can go run. All we'll have left is chickens and ducks. And I'm not worried. And the dogs won't go after the chickens or the ducks. So I'm not worried about that.
Right.
Yeah, we've got places to put the chickens and ducks to keep them alive and safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because normally fucking the dogs absolutely would go after the chickens at the very least. Maybe the ducks, I don't know.
My dogs will not go. They don't go after the chickens. They don't go after the ducks. They only go after the pigs. It's like they can smell the bacon through the skin.
Pigs are fucking scary creatures anyway. The pigs are fucking violent.
And they both do the same thing, and they go right. They're trying to grab their neck. I mean, they're trying to rip that fucking thing open.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of their nature as dogs. Like, people think it's cute and shit when, like, the dog gets, like, you give a dog, like, a squeaky toy or whatever, and it, like, fucking thrashes his head about or whatever. Like, it thinks that it's an animal that it's trying to fucking kill.
Yeah, they think they don't know, but they will. They don't go after the chickens. I think they're more because the chickens we've had pretty much. They were kind of the first ones we got. We've had those for a longer time. They don't mess with the chickens. My dogs, they don't really mess with them.
Mm.
They can't. Well, they can't catch them because the chickens glide. So they don't fly, but they can glide a little ways. So they really have a hard time catching the chickens.
Right.
Because my chickens, we have low trees here, and they'll just go up in the trees.
Right on.
Yeah, and the ducks will do the same. They'll glide up into the trees. So not a big deal. My one duck sleeps in a tree. The one that doesn't live here, he only comes home at night.
Mm.
Yep.
Says anyhow later night, Luke. Have fun.
Take it easy.
Elbows up.
So we've got one more little story to get into here. And then we can talk, we'll talk a little AEW Dynamite / Dynasty. We got Dynasty coming up this weekend. And believe it or not, we're talking Bret Hart tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually going to bring up a Bret Hart story, folks. And it's Bret Hart complaining. Imagine that. I know, hard to imagine Bret Hart complaining about everything. But he was on the Ariel Helwani show. And what's a better place to complain about wrestlers than the Ariel Helwani show? So he says he was asked if he still watches professional wrestling today in these times. And Bret said he tries, but he finds that today's talents are more actors than wrestlers, taking a direct shot at AEW while he's doing it. And he says, and I quote, I try to watch the pay-per-views. I find in a lot of wrestlers, and I won't name anybody, but I find wrestlers are more actors pretending to be wrestlers today than actual wrestlers, Bret Hart said. I miss the ruggedness of the characters. Guys like Kurt Hennig, myself, of course, Dynamite Kid, the whole era of wrestlers that broke into the business in the late 70s and early 80s. Well, Bret, most of them are dead.
I was going to say, you do a really bad job of like explaining why today's wrestlers are bad when you bring up like a guy who died of a coke overdose and a guy who was just a notoriously like mean, curmudgeonous, shitty person to like everyone around him.
Yeah, who tells stories about putting shotguns in women's mouths. Anyway, we were from the Harley Race Terry Funk generation, trying to copy them or mimic them. Bret, you didn't copy or mimic either one of those, just so you know. Both of those guys could cut a promo. You couldn't. Anyway, that's why I think the 90s was the best era of wrestling. When I watched some of that old 90s wrestling, it was really good stuff. I find that today's wrestling is a bit more about promos and your character on TV and not so much your work rate. I like guys that throw back a little bit to the work rate. Roman Reigns, there's a guy that can really, or that tries really hard to earn the respect of my generation and be more realistic and more credible and more believable, not so much an actor. I find that especially AEW, I find they are mostly actors trying to pretend to be wrestlers. And they got to get on with real wrestling and quit acting so much. Quick little hat tip there to Fightful from Yahoo Sports. But there it is. Now, first of all, I have to disagree in AEW. Sometimes I think they have too much wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their matches go too long, which tells me that since Bret made his one little appearance on AEW, he hasn't watched AEW since.
Yeah.
Now, who do you think who's someone in AEW that you think he might be talking about that would be more of a actor than now I have an idea of someone I think he might be mentioning.
The same guy who insulted him on his one lone AEW appearance? I don't know.
I'm thinking MJF.
That's who I was thinking, yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I would think of that with, the whole, like, everything that he does with all trying to implement all the really, like, fucking insider terms and all the, like, fake shoot stuff that he does. But, like, again, just to, like, kind of go back to what you were saying, the idea that, like, Bret Hart's criticism about AEW is, like, they care too much about promos, not enough about wrestling. It's like, have you watched the last, like, fucking 5 years? Like, what are you talking? Have you watched ever? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, we were begging for more storyline and stuff like that. Now we're getting it. Now he's saying, I don't know. I do think he's talking about MJF. And let's face it, MJF is more known for his talking, but MJF does go out there and get it fucking done in the ring when he has to. I also think he's thinking of an Orange Cassidy, who's not really known for cutting promos, but a gimmick that I guarantee Bret Hart despises. You got to think he hates that gimmick that he's doing. He must think he's making a fool of the business, Orange Cassidy. Oh, I could only imagine.
That is also the first thing that came to my mind with Bret Hart was saying that he's like, he thinks that there's too many wrestlers that are acting and not being like real wrestlers. It's like, when you say that, do you mean that like you think that the problem is that there's too many people who know that wrestling isn't legitimate and like you still haven't really come to that conclusion yet? Is that the problem? Like you're out here thinking this shit's real and like the other people are like, yeah, we're trying to put on a good show. And you're like, fuck you.
I mean, he can't be thinking of Toni Storm because she's fucking amazing in the ring, out of the ring, everything she's doing.
I feel like he would like that gimmick. I mean, I don't know, but maybe.
I would think so. That's definitely a good throwback gimmick. And Toni Storm goes out there and gets it done in the ring too. I don't know. I just, and the funny thing is he's sitting there talking about, all these 80s and 90s and all this shit. And really, let's face it, The Rock, John Cena, where are they now? Oh, that's right. They're actors.
I mean, he named Terry Funk, who is also an actor.
Actor. I mean, absolutely. Fucking Roadhouse. Well, there's always Barber College.
Mhm.
God, they're both gone. Oh my God. That just hit me real quick. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Both. One scene, both gone. My God. We're all getting old, Smark. None of us are getting
Very, speaking of being old and like having things from the past, the WWE Vault like a couple months ago put out a like montage of like the filming, the behind the scenes footage of them filming that Raw intro with like them being on top of the fucking like Titan Towers or whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like the old school intro, and like they're interviewing a bunch of different people, and like everybody's having a good time with it. And fucking Scott Hall's there, he's having a good time with it. Fucking Sean's having a good time with it. They interview Bret Hart, and they're asking him, they're like, "Hey, you excited to be here? You having a good time filming this intro?" And he's like, "I can't wait for any of it. I can't wait for all this shit to be over so I can just go home." And he's he's just like so bitter and angry and curmudgeony. And the guy like filming, he goes, "Well, I can't use that." And then Bret just stares Owen at him, and then you just hear Owen in the background yell, "Hey, so is this wrestling stuff real, or what's the deal with that?" And
Yeah.
Bret shoots him a death stare, which is fucking amazing because Bret's complaining and Owens is busting his balls.
Of course. And then I totally agree with Stephen Butler. He says Bret never embraced the term sports entertainment, and I suspect that continues today. I would assume so, but I mean, let's face it, the company that is hardcore sports entertainment is not AEW. It's not. AEW is, I mean, they've got their entertaining things. We just mentioned Orange Cassidy, definitely an entertainment type of guy. Mark Briscoe to me is fucking hilarious, and I love whenever Mark Briscoe entertains the shit out of me. So there's that. But I definitely think when you use that word sports entertainment, one man was the guy who tried to shove that word down our throats for years. And it wasn't the guy who's running AEW. I'll put it that way.
Right. Like even Mark Briscoe, like Mark Briscoe just has a gimmick. Like he's just kind of a fun character, but like it's not like he can't wrestle. Like he's a good wrestler. Like even like of a like level that I feel like Bret could appreciate because he's not doing anything crazy. He's not doing like fucking standing 450s. It's like the most wild thing he does is he'll do the fucking Foley like fucking elbow drop from the apron. But other than that, it's really more traditional style wrestling for the most part.
Yeah, him and I think a lot of the guys I mean, shit, we had a fucking Haas match last night on fucking AEW. The crowd was chanting meat, meat, meat. I mean,
That's it.
we had a fucking Haas match last night. That's got to be something Bret would have loved. He's talking about Harley Race, fucking, Terry Funk, Haas's. Big burly dudes. We had that fucking match last night. I don't think Bret's watching AEW. I think he just wanted to take a shot for no reason because Bret Hart is Bret Hart.
What's funny about Bret Hart is like for some reason I don't lump him into the group of the other like curmudgeon wrestling people, just because I don't know, like he's just been that way for so long that like he's not doing it for like anything that will financially benefit him. It's just that is his soul. Like he doesn't have like a podcast where he's like, I don't think that where he's just like ripping shit to shreds for views. Like no, just Bret Hart could be like in a park somewhere feeding pigeons, just yelling about how kids don't get it these days. Like that's just who he is as a person. It feels very sincere at the very least.
Back in my day, old man yelling at clouds. Okay, basically.
And they just stand there while they do the fucking plancha, and it's a bunch of bullshit. It's like, sir, this is a Denny's, and we're closing. If you could just pay for your moons over my hammy and please leave.
Sir, this is Whataburger. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what a fucking Orange Cassidy is. I'm just trying to pay for college, man. If you could just, you tip me or you don't, I don't care. Just, you've been taking up this table for 2 hours now.
Sir, pay for your number 2 and leave the fucking building, okay? Get the fuck out of here. And no, now you're not going to upsize it. Get the fuck out. Okay?
That's it.
This is Steak and Shake, bitch. Get out of here. Shit. All right, let's go ahead and let's leave Bret Hart alone. I think he could have articulated his opinion a little better and left AEW out of it. There was no reason to bring up AEW because I totally disagree with him about AEW being all sports entertainment. There's entertaining moments. And I mean, my entertaining moments are just whenever they show Renee Paquette. But
Yes.
I mean,
that's another thing you would think you'd appreciate is that fucking roster is stacked with Canadians. It was a Canadian heavy roster. You got fucking Renee, you got Kenny Omega, you got fucking Mike Bailey, you got fucking a lot of people Canadians over there. Kenny Omega.
Yeah. You said Kenny Omega.
Don Callis, Jericho.
Yep.
Edge, Christian.
That is a pretty Canadian heavy roster. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Bret's watched in so long that he doesn't give a shit. But let's go ahead and get into this, Mark. We'll get into the matches, predictions for Dynasty coming up this weekend, this Sunday. And as we usually do, we'll just mix whatchamacallit into it. Dynamite.
Let's do it.
It works for us usually, so let's go ahead and get it done like we usually do. I will go ahead and make this all bigger real quick. Give me 1 second. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. All right. So we've got this as big as it will go. There we go. Okay. So let's go into StreamYard. We present, we share, and we go. All right. Is that big enough to read? If I put it on full screen, it is. Okay. Here we go, Smark. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
You sure?
I have never been more ready.
Okay. Let's just start at the bottom. Number 9, which is going to be first match we're going to talk about here. Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. Women's Owen Cup Tournament first round match. So this is for no title. I'm assuming this is going to be a pre-show match. Wow, Mercedes on the pre-show. Interesting. But anyway, let's do it. What you got?
I'm curious whether or not it actually will be a pre-show match. I hadn't considered that. That'd be interesting. Like, it seems unimaginable that as much money as they're paying for her that they put her on a pre-show, but it could be what's going to happen. Mercedes, anyway, even if it's not for a title, I just don't see her losing to Julia Hart.
I got to disagree right off the bat because I think this might be one that Mercedes loses, even if it's with miss to the face or something, because you don't need Mercedes Moné in that fucking tournament. You probably would rather a Julia Hart in that tournament. I would.
Unless something dodgy happens, because they showed those brackets. And if Mercedes wins her match, Athena wins her match, it's Mercedes and Athena. And that's what they've been slowly teasing and building towards.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're doing that in the tournament or if they have, like, potentially Athena cost her the match. So then they end up facing each other, like, later on during the road outside of the tournament. But it's kind of why I'm thinking Mercedes wins.
I'm hoping it would go that way. And you know what? I actually have those brackets when we get in the little give me one for the men's. I think I have. Hold on.
Because they're even doing that on the Collision there. It's Mercedes and Harley Cameron versus Julia and Athena.
Oh no, I don't have the brackets. What I have up here is the All In's Texas week schedule. We can get that going a little bit later too. I'll leave that right there. We'll talk about that when we're done here. But yeah, I probably could get those brackets off of last night's show. But anyway, you might
got you. Give me just a second.
Yeah, you might be right with Mercedes Moné, but I'm going Julia Hart. I just want to.
There you go.
I just want to. Owen Hart Cup Tournament for the men first round match. This is going to be Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. They had a pretty decent match on whatchamacallit. Oh, Where'd you send that to?
The private chat.
Okay. They had a pretty good tag team match on Dynamite last night, and then they ended up winning the match, which made them face each other. This is so weird. But anyway, Ospreay, definitely Will Ospreay.
That's right, Ospreay. But True North, I actually saw through what I was trying to say. You saw through my facade. Says I agree. Smart time to deport the Canadian wrestlers in AEW to Venezuela.
That's where they send everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Venezuela. All right.
Either that or there's that promotion, like I want to say it's in Africa. I don't remember exactly where, but they were like they didn't have a ring. They were just wrestling like on the ground, and it became like it went viral. I forget what it was called, but they were just like just regular ass motherfuckers just out there doing it. So that's where you're going to send all the Canadian AEW wrestlers.
There you go. All right, so we've got the brackets here that Smark just pulled up in the women's bracket. Got starts out with Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks. Winner of that moves on. Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander. Winner of that will move on. Damn it, who's that? Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné, and Harley Cameron versus Athena. So glad they had Harley Cameron back on TV last night.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a Twitter. This is right off the TV. So for the men's, where's the men's? Come on.
John Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, Brody King versus Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher versus somebody, and it's fucking being blocked by my screen. Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher v. Mark Briscoe, and Hangman Page versus Wild Card.
Oh, okay. There we go. Wild Card. All right. Oh, I see the men's. You're right. Wild Card. That was a weird interaction between Hangman and Swerve last night, but I think that's leading to a tag team partnership right there.
I was hoping that they would just really. I was thinking that they were going to team anyway, and it'd be kind of cool to see that. But I was kind of hoping that they would just like fucking really throw a curveball, because you had Hangman, you had Swerve, and they were like fucking Swerve's trying to beat up Moxley because Moxley DDT'd Willow, and apparently just if a man DDTs a woman, it's deadly. But whatever. Hey, anyways, so Willow's all fucking hurt and fucked up, and Swerve's gonna kill Moxley, which is funny because he tells Renee, he's like, "I gotta go look for your husband. I'm gonna kick his ass." And I was just hoping that Renee'd be like, "No, the fuck you're not." She just starts stopping. But anyways, so Swerve goes to try to kill Moxley. Fucking Renee just throws like powder in his eyes and shit, and just drinks to death others. There you go. That's a Swerve. Anyway, Swerve goes to kill fucking Moxley, and then he ends up meeting Hangman, and they fucking be yelling at each other, and he's like, you broke into my house, you burned my house down, you deserved it." And Swerve yells, "I know." And then like the security guards that are like blocking them, they're like fucking just like part C's, and they just like start staring at each other. And like I was like sitting there kind of thinking, it like, man, it'd be wild if like fucking Tony Khan just like super went off the deep end and just like they just all of a sudden started like fucking making out like it's a teen romance comedy. You just like you put it out there, so then like when Eric Bischoff or Cornette like fucking bashes the show, it's like, oh no, they're homophobes, cancel them, get them out of here. It's a honeypot. It's a honeypot. You just have them hardcore fucking making out. That fucking song like "Kiss Me" playing in the background. You just go straight up unexpected. Fucking
in the background.
Mm-hmm. You burned my house down. You deserve it. I know. So kiss me. Do.
Oh fuck! That just took me to not another teen movie.
Yeah, exactly. You have fucking Swerve teaching Hangman how to dance like he's Julia Stiles, fucking circa 2000. That was a whole genre of fucking movies for like 5 years of just black people teaching Julia Stiles how to dance because she's an uptight white bitch, according to the movie anyway.
She got hotter as she got older, man. By the time she was doing those fucking Bourne movies with fucking Matt Damon, she was looking good.
Hey.
Yeah. But anyway, did you say Will Ospreay?
Yes, I did say Will Ospreay. It took us a long time to get there, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, Hurt Syndicate. We've got right here versus the Learning Tree. It's going to be Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin against Big Bill and Brian Keith. This is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Now, there was another weird interaction with MJF where he came out and basically was telling him how bad not only did he need the Hurt Syndicate, but the Hurt Syndicate needed him. And it was a weird thing, but this makes me think Sunday night we are going to get some sort of. I see MJF trying to help out the Hurt business, but it backfires.
I can't see a world where the Hurt Syndicate loses. Like, even under those circumstances, I can't see a world where the Hurt Syndicate
I'm not
loses.
saying they're losing, but I still see it backfiring. And even with that happening, Hurt Syndicate pulls out a win and retains the titles. That's where I'm going.
Sure, yeah. And that segment was a little bit weird, but like they were saying on commentary, Shelton couldn't be there because of the travel issues, because of the weather and shit. So like that might have factored into it being a little bit odd in the way that ended up playing out.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah. So I believe you, like you said, Hurt Syndicate most definitely. So, all right, we've got a weird another match here. That's a singles match for the AEW TNT Championship. This is Daniel Garcia, the current champion, versus Adam Cole. This match has no time limit, no
build on Dynamite either.
None, and no outside interference is permitted. This is going to be the fucking pre-show.
It should be.
Yeah, this might be the pre-show, folks, but I don't know. The TNT Championship, you want that on the pre-show? Why not? Who gives a fuck?
Fucking poor Adam Cole's one loss away from fucking losing to the Costco guys anyway.
Might as well do it at this point. But Adam Cole's going nowhere. They're doing something with Daniel Garcia at least, so I say he retains.
I want to know what the fuck happened. Like, somebody needs to make one of those like 40-minute meandering YouTube videos explaining what it is that happened, because like Adam Cole, like, he's a good wrestler and he's a decent enough, like, people are behind him when he talks. He's not a super great promo, but he's engaging enough. And just like out of nowhere, he just like basically fucking completely fell off. Like, nobody cares anymore. They don't build the feuds anymore. Like, they gave his feud with fucking Garcia 0 TV time. He somehow turned yellow. He's gotten divorced. He's on the pre-show, potentially. Like, what the fuck happened? It's over. Like, how? How did it end? Like, what's going on?
That's what happens when you team up with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. You get put into fucking obscurity. I don't know. It's like he got hurt, he came back, and no one gave a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, now they got the whole Undisputed thing back together, but they're hardly ever on TV anymore. So who gives a shit? But I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Right.
But I think we're both going for Daniel Garcia here.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't care about this feud whatsoever.
I kind of figured that right there. So this is a title versus mask match for the ROH World Championship. Chris Jericho has the title. Bandito has the mask. So either Bandito wins the title or Chris Jericho will unmask Bandito for good.
Indeed.
I got to tell you, I'm not quite sure. There's two ways you can go with this. I'm hoping Bandito wins. I wouldn't mind having him as the ROH champion. I don't think Tony would either. I don't think anybody would mind taking that title off of Jericho. Only thing that worries me is that puts Jericho back on Dynamite a lot more.
You have to be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. So I wouldn't mind if Jericho kept the title, but where does that leave Bandito with no mask? Is that going to, I'm just going Bandito. I'm just going to go with Bandito not losing his mask, even though I think he's probably going to lose his mask.
See, if I had to put like money on it, if there's any actual important stakes here, I would probably pick Bandito, but I do kind of get the vibe. It seems like he's the most likely to win, but I do kind of think that maybe they're going to have Jericho win. Because, like, that's the thing is, the kind of like funny part is like a lot of the fucking masked wrestlers, like they lose the mask and then people just realize that they're actually like decent, like to good looking dudes, and then they
Right.
get over it that way. So it's like it kind of doesn't matter that they have the mask or whatever. If he's gonna be working in the U.S. for the majority of the rest of his career or whatever,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal if he loses the mask. So maybe he does. Maybe he loses the mask. Maybe Jericho wins. I'm gonna pick Jericho, but I think Bandito's probably the more likely option.
All right. We will see. So now we got the trios match for the AEW World Trios Championship. We had a whole backstage thing. You can tell this whole thing with the FTR is falling apart. I don't know, which kind of leads me to believe right away, guess who's winning this match? The fucking Death Riders again.
Maybe.
I think so. They're going to retain.
But they've also made them out to look like bitches like pretty much the entire month. Even the month before that, like just you had Copeland just basically beat them all up single-handedly, like almost like Cena v Nexus style. And like I don't think they've won any matches since then. Like fucking Claudio lost to Copeland yesterday or whatever.
Last night,
They've just been losing left, right, and sideways, which makes you think that they would win at the pay-per-view to like save face, but they might just be pulling the plug on this shit.
Well, with all I listen, I hope they do. They got I would hope. I hope that Cope wins. We're hoping for Cope, folks. We're gonna hope for Cope. But I got a feeling Death Riders are gonna take this. They find a way to do it every fucking time. So,
yeah, I say Death Riders too. But I have zero faith in that. Like if we're doing confidence points, that'd be at the very bottom.
I just think the rated FTR is going to end up falling apart. One of them is going to walk away. Probably going to be Dax, who walks away, and they're going to lose. They're going to be stuck 3-2, and Cash Wheeler takes the pin.
Is it wrong to, like you said, you hope that Jericho doesn't win because you don't want to see more Jericho? Are you kind of would be glad if Jericho lost because less Jericho on Dynamite? I'm kind of hoping that if FTR breaks up, then like we don't have to see them on a weekly basis. So like that's kind of I'm hoping for Death Riders to win because of that.
I just don't understand why they would split these guys up. I don't remember either one of them having a successful singles career. So whatever. We'll see what happens, I guess. But I think
I don't like Dax. So if they like if fucking Dax gets stuck in Ring of Honor for the rest of his career, that's A-okay with me, friend.
I don't know. I got a feeling we're going to see by the end of the year, it's going to be Dax Harwood versus Cash Wheeler.
Like if they just swap out Dax with Max Caster in terms of gimmicks of just like Dax is out there or doing an open challenge every week and getting his ass whooped, like that is quality TV to me.
Yeah, speaking of Max Caster, when the fuck is Anthony Bowen's going to come back and whip his ass?
Who knows?
That's what everyone is fucking waiting for, me included. Anyway, we've got this three-way match that's been kind of been set up for the past few weeks, past couple weeks, because Speedball Mike Bailey's only been there for 2 weeks at this point. Kenny Omega versus Ricochet versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This is for the AEW International Championship, which Kenny Omega holds right now. So I really don't see the fact that Kenny Omega has not had this title very long, why they would immediately take it off of him. But I could also see them wanting to put gold on Ricochet right now also to get this character over. But man, would they put it on Ricochet just to get this character more over? Because it would really, really piss people off. Fuck it, I'm going Ricochet.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need the belt, he being Omega, but I kind of think that he is just going to hold on to it. I think it's going to be a really fucking good match, though. Like, it has the potential to be like one of those like TNA triple threats where it was like, you know, early 2000s, just like not Jericho, fucking Joe Daniels and AJ was fucking crazy good. But that'd be interesting. I think Omega's going to win, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good match, though. Almost guaranteed it's going to be a fucking crazy match. So Then we have the singles matches for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Tony Storm versus Megan Bayne. Tony Storm had a good match out there the other night with Penelope Ford. She beat Penelope Ford. Now, Megan Bayne just got there, has not been there long, but man, it looks like they are putting a rocket on her, which I don't blame them. But could they go ahead and do this? I don't think now is the time. I think she needs to be there a little longer. I'm going to stick with Tony Storm winning. I don't want Tony to lose this title. I really don't. I think she's great with it. So I think it's a little more of the chase for Megan Bayne.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. Which brings us to our final match, our more than likely main event with Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland. We have a singles match. This is for the AEW World Championship. Swerve, please, God, he won this title a year ago at this pay-per-view. Please get this title off of Moxley. Swerve all the way.
I'm going to agree with that. I think Swerve's going to win. Like, maybe there's a lot of ways you could go with this. Though. You have, like, Hangman help Swerve win the belt, or you have Hangman attempt to have Swerve win the belt and then ends up costing him. Or you just really fucking super, no pun intended, Swerve people, and you end up having Hangman join the Death Riders or help them out just because, like, he's still committed to that. Like, they didn't fully reconcile. He's still committed to the idea of, like, I'm not letting you have that belt. So Hangman's all going to be interesting in this, but I'm going to say Swerve. I'm going to hope for Swerve too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I just don't care who they're up against at this point. I'm rooting against the Death Riders, and I'm not the biggest hater of the storyline, but it's time to take the title off of Moxley. It's time. It's
slowly, and it has to be because they're like I said, they're losing left, right, and sideways at this point. Like they're not even trying to present them as like a threat anymore. Like it's on the verge of being over.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to get that title off of Moxley. I would love to see Death Riders walk out of that whole pay-per-view with not one title left on them, but I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I think it would be a great thing to do, but I mean, if you're gonna kill this Death Rider storyline, there's a way to do it. Get all the fucking gold off of them, and they start imploding.
I really thought they were just going to feed into the Hurt Syndicate, but that hasn't happened yet.
Well, you never know. We'll have to see. But let's hope we get a few good predictions out of this and some of them actually come true. But I actually thought last night, though, just to kind of wrap up, I thought last night was a pretty good go-home show, except for the few matches we talked about that has no build-up, like Daniel Garcia match. I mean, who the fuck even – I didn't even know it was happening, to be honest with you. I had no clue. So, but otherwise, I thought it was a good go-home show. But what else, Mark?
No, I think that about does it.
Well, then fuck it. Let's go ahead and wrap this bitch up.
Real quick, you mentioned All Out Texas or All In Texas. I forget if it's All Out or All In. Not important, really, of what it's actually called. But they announced that the show is going to be at 3 p.m. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I did see that, and that's because they don't want to go up against WrestleMania.
No. I'm talking about All Out Texas. That's
All Out Texas. That's right. Whatever.
Now, I don't even think they're doing their WrestleMania. I think they're doing their WrestleMania show on like Friday. So it's like they're really trying to steer clear of competing with Mania, and I totally understand that shit. I kind of think that they're doing it at 3 p.m. is just, I don't like it. Like, I don't like that WWE's doing it with the Raws, where they're like, I understand they're international, so they kind of have to, but
right,
the show's being at like right in the middle of the afternoon is just kind of.
I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me that much, but here, give me 1 second. Let me make this picture just a little bit bigger for everybody. That should help out a little bit. All right. So here we go. We've got the whole week planned out here in Texas. They are going to be, oh, look, it's moving. Starting Wednesday, we're going to have Dynamite here at the Curtis Caldwell Center in Garland. That's not too far. In the same building, Thursday, they're going to do AEW Collision. Starcast, that's right. Let's give Conrad a chance to make more fucking money. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, 2 nights at the Sheridan Arlington in Arlington, Texas. Death by Dishonor, the ROH pay-per-view. Death Before Dishonor, sorry. That's going to be Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern at the Esports Stadium in Arlington. And then All In will be Saturday. And as Smark said, it starts at 3 Eastern, so 2 o'clock here in Texas. And I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know why they have to do it like that. But they are. Oh, I didn't mean WrestleMania. I meant main event. Saturday night's main event is on that night. I don't know if they're just trying to steer clear of it or if they had something else going on at Globe Life Field. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Could be something else going on. Maybe they got to get it out of there because, I mean, after Saturday, they're done. So, but that is going to be July 9th through 12th right here in Texas. It is going to be hot. So, but this should be a good show, and it's going to be a good week here, man. It's going to be a good week, but I'm not going to be around for any of that shit.
There you go.
I'm not getting near any of it. Sorry. But anyway, that's it right there, folks. And on that note, I think we can wrap up. So, Smark, titty me. Tit me. Tit me.
You got it. Totally appropriate team sports or tits, if you will. Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. on YouTube. We are going to be getting into the fucking NHL playoffs. They're about to happen. The NBA playoffs are about to happen. The draft's almost here. There's a lot to talk about in the world of sports. So we're going to be doing that for you. So go ahead and listen 8:30 p.m. on every Tuesday.
Awesome. And we'll be back here, of course, next Thursday night. Me and Smark will be. Plenty to talk about. Got WrestleMania ramping up, getting closer every week. So we'll definitely be more to talk about next week. And as I said in the beginning of the show, Saturday night on Hollywood Hangout, I will be talking Val Kilmer, a little tribute show to him. Like I said, I'm going to get into his career, his method acting. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about his clashes with some directors in his younger years. So it's definitely check out Hollywood Hangout. I'm going to go ahead and do this on YouTube this week, folks, where we'll be live on YouTube. Check out Hollywood Hangout. And like I said, we're back here next week. Wrestling Outlet, Thursday night. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hell, tell a friend, pay a friend to tell a friend. I don't care. There you go. We're up to 80-something subscribers. So let's I want to get this bitch to 100. Let's do it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Then we'll start stealing your money, doing super chats and shit.
I'm going to gain 80 more pounds become the next Conrad. That's the goal. We're going to do this shit.
There you go. We'll be all in here. Next thing you know, we'll be talking about fucking, is that rumor innuendo, Smart? I don't know. I just don't know. So you didn't get fucked in the ass by that goat? No? Okay. I understand. Okay. Thanks for telling me. Thanks. Appreciate your honesty. All right. Anyway, sorry, everybody. I don't know why that was done, but Stephen Butler, thank you. Appreciate that. And good night to you. And folks, we are out of here. Enjoy your weekend coming up. Enjoy Friday. And we will be back next week. So see ya. Right. Goodbye.